Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mary's Little House. So glad you're back. Yesterday, I mentioned that we celebrated the 100th uh, presentation on YouTube of Mary's Ministry channel, sort of a landmark. And I prayed that it would go out, this channel would go all over the world. And my prayer has been answered. It's gone as far as Australia. We have people responding to us, and Bangladesh, and God knows where it's gone. Cindy used to say when we sent mail out, snail mail at that time, with the post office mail, that to entrust it to Saint Michael, the archangel, to protect it and get it to the one who is to receive it. Well, I've been giving all these emails and the YouTube channel to send it out throughout the whole world to preach the good news of the gospel to the angels. And a lot of people say, oh, you should get on these programs where you get hundreds of subscriptions and all that. I didn't intend to do that. I want the angels to take care of it. And they're doing, I think, a very good job. So the only thing is, I really feel bad. One of my ministry members said, what about the homebound? And I don't know how to get to them. I beg the angels to, but I might have to ask you to inform those who are homebound, who can't get out, who might have access to a computer, about Mary's Little Channel. So I really want to talk to them. I really want to connect with them, to encourage them on the wonderful gift of their prayers and their sufferings, and the value that they are to the church and to the world, their lives, that they're not just left on the side, they're right in the center of it all by their prayers and sufferings. So if you know a homebound person and they have access to a computer, or you could bring your laptop over and show them sometimes some a YouTube presentation of Mary's ministry, please don't hesitate to do that. And other people too who feel sort of left out of the mainstream, to share a Mary's Ministry YouTube channel with them. Thank you for listening to those 100, or some of them anyway, with take 3 please, and then now take 10 with Jim. Today I want to talk about what you heard at Mass today, the first 2 readings in our lectionary for Tuesday of the 5th week of Lent. The first reading was from the book of Numbers. Remember, the people complained they were tired when they were sick of the food they did out in the desert, and they even wanted to go back to Egypt, back to slavery, because they could eat better there. Anyway, they complained against Moses and God, and Moses and God sent them the serpents as a punishment. The serpents, seraphim, they were poisonous snakes, and they finally repented and asked Moses to pray to God to help them get rid of these awful serpents that were killing them and stinging them, making their lives miserable. Well, God told Moses to put a serpent, a bronze serpent, on a pole, and when one was bitten by the serpent, the serpents, they would look at that pole and they would live. Well, we know that pole with a bronze serpent on it was a taste of the cross. Jesus is the one we look up to now for life and salvation, for healing and everything. Jesus on the cross. And the gospel reading is about Jesus. When he is lifted up, you'll know that the Father has sent me. I have come to bring you salvation in the gospel of today too. So we look up the Jewish people in the desert. In the desert, looked up to that serpent bronze serpent on the pole for their curing, we look up to Jesus, who is our Savior when He is lifted up. And today, so the cross, and I'm always asking you, please have your crucifix, please gaze upon it on your wall, and I just encourage you to get one you could really hold and kiss and really encounter, to look at Jesus. There's no other salvation, nothing at all without Jesus. Jesus is our only Savior, and He saved us by His passion and death upon the cross. And we look to Him, and He will show us the way to the Father. He's our light. In fact, someone said tonight, I was hearing a beautiful talk, said, when you look down on yourself, you just see darkness, your shadow, but when you look up, you see the light, the light makes us, and God is the light. Jesus is the light of the world. So keep looking up. Don't look at yourself and you just see your shadow. It's darkness. But when you look up, you see light. The sun that makes the shadow. So keep your eyes. So look up that way too. The other thing is looking up. All these are themes. Looking up. And I'll summarize them before we go. Looking up. I was at Adoration Chapel tonight, and they had Jesus under the sign of bread, the big host, in the monstrance. The monstrance comes from the word monstrare, to show. Excuse me. And so I had to look up because it was way up on the altar, the altar of exposition. And so I was looking to Jesus there too. He's there for us to talk to just get a suntan, for Him to immerse us in His grace and His light, His love, His presence. We are transformed in opening ourselves, talking with Him, being with Him in the Eucharist, and looking up at Him. So I had one of my Facebook things. I said in introducing this theme, hey people, look up. So the Jews looked up at the serpent on the pole to cure them from their snake bites so they wouldn't die. That Jesus says, I'm being lifted up, and those who look at me will see that the Father so loved me, and I come from the Father, I come to save you, and that He's our salvation, our only salvation. There is no other Savior but Jesus. And also look up at the light. Look to Jesus. He's the light. Don't look down at yourself. That's just darkness. And we'll just fumble around. But keep your eyes on Jesus. He's the light. He's the sun. Don't look at your shadows. But Jesus is the light. So look up at the light, and look up at the Eucharist. Jesus in the Tabernacle, are in the exposed in the monstrance. So there's a lot of looking up. So we should. I tell people sometimes when I see how good they are, that I'll be looking up all heaven, seeing them way up there next to God's throne, Jesus' throne. And I have to do my next exercises so I can keep looking up at God and them next to the God's throne, and I'll be way down on the last step of the throne room. But anyway, so we're made to look up. We're look up people. So look up to Jesus on the cross. Keep your gaze upon Him. Look up to Him. He's the light of the world. Keep your eyes on Him. He's the light. Everything else is darkness, shadows, and worse than darkness. And look up to Jesus in the Eucharist, in the Tabernacle, and in exposition of the Most Blessed Sacrament in the monstrance. So we're look up people. God bless you. Thank you for being with me on these last 100 YouTube presentations. Thank you. If you could share with a homebound person somehow this little presentation, because there's a special feeling in our ministry, to reach out to those people, that they first of all, they don't feel alone, and number two, that their lives are so important, their prayers and sufferings for the church and for world peace and for the salvation of souls. God bless you now.